Hey folks, Country Prepper here. It's a nice day out. Might be a little bit noisy, but I just thought I'd come out and shoot a video on the deck. I haven't done that in a long time. So I came up with this idea for a series of tag videos, a bunch of questions that I could ask, not only just for fun, but also to, tag some smaller channels, give them a shout out, and, help build them up a little bit. And also, it gets you to thinking. If there was ever a major societal collapse or a huge natural disaster, and you were stuck in your house for an extended period of time or whatever. I call it Stuck in a Bunker series, but obviously, I don't know anybody that owns a bunker, but still it's the same idea. If you were stuck in your home, maybe even stuck in the basement after the tornado took your house or something like that, you'd want to have certain things to keep yourself sane, basically. So that's what this series is all about, and I'm going to start off with 5 questions, and you get 5 answers to each question, and then at the end you got to tag 5 people or 5 channels. So that's what this series is all about. I'll probably do once a month, maybe, if it's a popular idea thing, people are enjoying it. So far I have 3 ideas, and so if you have any other ideas for an idea that I could add to this series, if you kind of get the idea of, stuck in the house, things you got to have, the most important things to you, basically. And that's what the series is all about. If you have ideas, let me know. All right, let's get started. Question number 1. If you were stuck in a bunker, what 5 TV series or shows would you want to take with you? And this is assuming that you still have power, or you downloaded them, put them on an iPad, and you can recharge them with your solar panels or whatever. What 5 series, TV shows would you take? And for me, I picked mostly comedies, but a couple of really, just cool shows. And I tried to think of series that had a lot of seasons and a lot of episodes per season, and of course things that I enjoyed. So Scrubs is one of them. I always loved that show. Dr. Cox, that was the perfect last name for that character, because he was a dick to everyone. It was hilarious. Sons of Anarchy. I used to own a Harley, used to go to biker rallies throughout my teenage and 20s, and late teens and 20s, and just had a blast at it. Always loved that show. Sons of Anarchy. House MD, for the same reason basically as Scrubs. House was just hilarious. Seinfeld, it's just, there's just an absolute ton of shows and seasons. What did that run like? Can't remember for sure. It was like, I don't know, 8 or 9, maybe 10 seasons, something like that. And then, of course, as a prepper, I love MacGyver. You gotta love MacGyver. The old one, not the new version. The reboot sucks. I'm sorry. I like the old version. So, next question. What 5 board games would you take? And I'm trying to keep these answers limited to just what I would take as my personal preference. When it comes to other family members, they would get their own choices. So keep that in mind if you answer these questions. So for me, Monopoly is my favorite board game. Life, it's a good one. Scrabble, keeps your mind busy, keeps you sharp, keeps you thinking. Clue, kind of the same thing, but it's just fun. And then, of course, Battleship. You gotta love Battleship, right? Now, the rest of these questions, you're probably gonna be pretty surprised by my answers. So, question number 3, what 5 artists or bands, music collection would you take? My answers are, for the first 2, Korn, Metallica. They got me through some really hard times with their music, and I absolutely love those bands. Green Day, another great one that I grew up with, listening to as a teenager. Seether, I love their music. I've seen them in concert twice now. And of course, I grew up with AC/DC. I gotta have them. Question number 4, what 5 movies or movie collections would you take? And the reason I say movie collections is because, just kind of like the bands, certain movie franchises have, a ton of movies in the series, like trilogies and whatnot. So I'm going to allow people to take an entire collection. So like, I don't know, Star Wars, they got, what, 8 movies out right now? That's not one of my picks, but just for an example, they have 8 movies, so you could take that whole collection. So that's something else to kind of think about, and kind of a thinking exercise with this question tag. So my answers are Lonesome Dove. Grew up watching that with my dad. Watched it, I can't even tell you how many times, but I love that movie. It's a long movie. It was like a 4-part miniseries on TV, and I think it's like 7 hours long in total, without commercial breaks or anything like that. I have the DVD. I need to get that on Blu-ray, upgrade. Next one, Jeremiah Johnson. That was the movie I was named after. So, or the character I was named after, Jeremiah Johnson. So I love that movie. I couldn't even tell you how many times I've seen it. So I would definitely have to have that one with me for nostalgia's sake. And it's a good movie. Another one, this might surprise you, Gone in 60 Seconds. I was never a huge fan of the Fast and Furious movies. It came out about the same time. The first one came out about the same time as Gone in 60 Seconds. But I love that. What was a 67 Shelby Cobra Mustang? Gotta love it. Love that car, love that movie. I just like that movie. So anyhow, and then as for collections that I would take, the Die Hard collection. You got to have a Christmas movie in there, right? So Die Hard, in my opinion, is a Christmas movie. The terrorists were wearing Santa Claus hats, and it took place at a Christmas party. It's a Christmas movie. So the rest of them aren't, but you know, I like all the movies in that collection. So Die Hard collection, definitely. And then the George Carlin HBO specials collection. I love George Carlin. I watched him growing up, and I always thought of him more as, actually more of as a philosopher than, and a speaker than really a comedian. But of course he was really funny, but you know, he was a brilliant man. So I always enjoyed George Carlin, and I miss getting to watch him. So next question. What 5 books or authors collections would you take? These are really going to surprise you guys. Now, I am not into novels. I'm not into like science fiction or, you know, any of that kind of stuff. I'm into more things that, you know, train my brain. So Henry David Thoreau. I always thought he was a great author. If you guys have never heard of him, he's probably most famous for Walden, and an essay, they call it an essay, called Civil Disobedience. So I'll leave, all these are on my Kindle, so I'll leave links to the books that I have on Kindle down in the description box if you guys want to check any of these out. But next one is Walt Whitman, which was a poet, but he did a lot of, you know, nature type stuff. His most famous work is Leaves of Grass. So I always found that kind of interesting. I wasn't really into poetry a lot when I was, you know, like growing up in high school or anything like that, but it's kind of grown on me, some of that older stuff like that. Next up, now this one might make, the next two might make you guys think that I'm nuts, but the Anarchist Cookbook. Just because, you know, if it was a situation of civil disobedience, you know, without rule of law, the end of the world as we know it, whatever, the Anarchist Cookbook is full of recipes. They call it recipes, but, you know, plans and such for like rudimentary homemade weapons, basically. So something really interesting, believe it or not, that is on Kindle. And so I just happened to come across it and got it one day, and it's pretty cool. It's very interesting, to say the least. And then another one, I was watching something on Netflix. Can't remember if it was like Mindhunter or something. It was something about the Unabomber, a show that they had on Netflix. And so the Unabomber Manifesto is something that I've been reading off and on for several months. I don't like to read too much of it at a time because I'm afraid his psychotic stuff is going to rub off on me, but not really, just joking. But it's really interesting, I'll say that. And then Robert Frost. He's most notable for The Road Not Taken. And it's another poet, but it's, you know, older style wilderness, you know, a lot of it is anyway. So I always enjoyed reading that kind of stuff. And so yeah, Robert Frost, Henry David Thoreau, Walt Whitman, those were 3 that I've become rather fond of. Okay, so now it is time to tag 5 channels, and I know most of these tag videos usually fizzle out after just a few weeks. That's why I'm thinking about doing one topic a month, and just to kind of, you know, like I said, help get the word out about some, you know, smaller channel or lesser known channels. Anyway, in my last video, I meant to do a shout out for Aaron, my friend Aaron. He has a channel called EDC with Aaron, and he has 513 subscribers. So Aaron, 5 questions, you're tagged, brother. Next up is a good friend of mine. Been out camping with him quite a few times, and I just really enjoy hanging out with him. I'm hoping this summer I can finally get out and go do some gold panning with him. He doesn't live that far away from me. That's Bearded CB82. His name is BJ, and he's got 525 subscribers. So I will leave links to all these channels in the description box below, so if you want to go see their answers or just see what kind of videos they put out, what kind of content they create, go check them out, give them a sub, let them know I sent you. Next up is a really cool guy. He just did a video here, I don't know, a week or so ago about his get home bag, and it was really, I was very impressed by it, and that is Garrett Outdoors. Very cool guy, very supportive of the community, and his video, how do I put this, his quality of content has really gone through the roof. I mean, he does a really great job. So Garrett Outdoors, you are tagged, brother. The next tag goes out to somebody that has been supportive of my channel for quite some time, and I never realized that she had a channel. Nicole, Lake Erie Prepper, and she has 259 subscribers. She's got a lot of content, so go check her out, guys. Nicole, you've been tagged. Last but not least, a longtime friend, somebody that started their channel pretty close to the same time that I did a few years ago, and but he had some troubles with his channel, tried to restart it, and now he's doing something a little different. He used to go by Frog Tax Gear Sanctuary. Now it is JP Living Bearded. So I just get a kick out of him. He's a really comical guy, and he still does some kits and stuff like that, and I really enjoy those videos. Not really huge into the beard stuff, even though I, you know, do keep hair on my face pretty much year round, but I might have to try out some of the beard oil he's been showing on his channel from time to time, so never know. But anyway, he has 142 subscribers, and just a really great guy. If you're into that kind of stuff, go check out his channel, see what his you know, what his content is. If you're interested, go sub, and that's all I got for tags. So let me know what you think of this idea, guys. Is it something you find entertaining, find fun, and you know, kind of get to know your you know, the people you watch on YouTube all the time? It's you know, another part of why I did this. So anyway, that's all I got for today, guys. Thanks for watching. See you next time.